Billionaire dared a single dad to quit his job, certain he wouldn't, shocked when he started packing. The room fell silent the moment Marcus Hale reached for the cardboard box. Dozens of employees stood frozen in the middle of the bright corporate office, watching as one of the company's most hard-working managers calmly removed a framed photo of his daughter from his desk. Across from him stood Billionaire CEO Victor Langston, a man known for getting whatever he wanted. His expression carried the confidence of someone who had never lost a challenge in his life. Victor had expected fear. He had expected hesitation. He had expected Marcus to back down. Instead, Marcus quietly began packing. And for the first time in years, the billionaire looked genuinely shocked. Before we continue, if you believe kindness deserves a second chance and that good people should never be underestimated, please take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to Light of Kindness for more inspiring stories that touch the heart. Marcus Bennett had never imagined his life would become a daily battle for survival. 5 years earlier, he had been living what many considered a normal life. He had a loving wife, a modest home, and dreams that seemed within reach. Then tragedy struck without warning. A sudden illness took his wife, leaving him alone to raise their 6-year-old daughter, Sophie. From that day forward, every decision Marcus made revolved around one goal: giving Sophie the best life possible. He woke before sunrise every morning. He prepared breakfast, packed lunches, helped with homework, and worked long hours at Langston Global Enterprises. While others spent evenings relaxing, Marcus spent his nights helping Sophie with school projects, reading bedtime stories, and worrying about bills he barely managed to pay. Yet despite the exhaustion, he never complained. Everyone in the company knew Marcus as the dependable one. He covered shifts, solved problems, and stayed late whenever needed. His dedication earned respect from co-workers, but not from the man at the very top. Victor Langston viewed employees differently. To him, people were assets, numbers on reports, pieces on a giant chessboard. Success had made him wealthy beyond imagination, but somewhere along the way, it had hardened his heart. One afternoon, the company announced a massive restructuring. Rumors spread through every department. Layoffs seemed inevitable. Employees nervously gathered in the conference hall where Victor addressed the staff. He spoke about efficiency. He spoke about profits. He spoke about sacrifice. Then his eyes settled on Marcus. Victor knew Marcus's situation. He knew he was a single father. He knew he needed every paycheck. And perhaps that knowledge fueled what happened next. In front of hundreds of employees, Victor challenged him. The billionaire suggested that if the new policies were too demanding, Marcus was free to quit. The room became painfully quiet. Everyone understood the hidden meaning behind the words. Victor believed Marcus couldn't afford to leave. He believed desperation would force obedience. He believed he held all the power. But Marcus had spent years carrying burdens heavier than corporate pressure. Losing his wife had taught him that fear could only control someone for so long. Something inside him finally broke. Not from anger. Not from pride. But from exhaustion. Years of sacrificing his health, missing school events, and watching his daughter grow up while he sat in endless meetings suddenly felt unbearable. That evening, Marcus drove home in silence. When he opened the front door, Sophie ran toward him with a handmade drawing. The picture showed the two of them holding hands beneath a bright yellow sun. Written across the top were simple words. "My hero." Marcus stared at the drawing longer than usual. For years, he had convinced himself that enduring misery was necessary to provide stability. But as he looked at Sophie's smiling face, he realized something painful. She didn't need a hero who earned the biggest paycheck. She needed a father who was present. The next morning, Marcus walked into the office with a different perspective. When Victor repeated his challenge during a leadership meeting, Marcus calmly stood up. Then he started packing. The reaction was immediate. Coworkers stared in disbelief. Executives exchanged nervous glances. Victor laughed at first, assuming it was some kind of bluff. But Marcus continued placing personal belongings into the cardboard box. A family photograph. A coffee mug. A small toy Sophie had secretly hidden on his desk months earlier. The laughter faded. Victor suddenly realized Marcus was serious. For the first time, the billionaire saw something he didn't understand. Freedom. Marcus no longer looked trapped. He looked relieved. Within an hour, he handed over his badge and walked out of the building. No dramatic speech. No argument. Just quiet dignity. The following months were difficult. Very difficult. Marcus burned through savings faster than expected. He took temporary jobs wherever he could find them. He delivered packages during the day and worked freelance consulting projects at night. Money became tight. Some nights he worried he had made a terrible mistake. But something else happened. He attended Sophie's school performances. He helped coach her soccer team. He ate dinner with her almost every evening. For the first time since his wife's passing, life felt meaningful again. Meanwhile, trouble was brewing inside Langston Global Enterprises. The company began losing talented employees. Morale collapsed. Projects failed. Departments struggled without Marcus's leadership. Clients noticed. Profits dropped. Victor grew increasingly frustrated. The numbers on his reports no longer made sense. Then one day he received unexpected news. A growing startup had landed several major contracts. The founder's name immediately caught his attention. Marcus Bennett. Using years of experience and relationships he had built over time, Marcus had started a small consulting business. What began as freelance work slowly evolved into a thriving company focused on helping struggling businesses improve operations while treating employees fairly. Clients loved his approach. Workers respected him. His reputation spread rapidly. Within 2 years, the company became one of the fastest-growing firms in the region. Then came the moment nobody expected. Victor requested a meeting. The billionaire arrived expecting negotiations. Instead, he encountered something far more uncomfortable. Perspective. Marcus welcomed him politely into his office. Behind him hung the same drawing Sophie had made years earlier. My hero. Victor noticed it immediately. As they spoke, he learned something wealth had prevented him from understanding. Success wasn't measured solely by profit. It was measured by impact. By relationships. By the people who trusted you. For perhaps the first time in decades, Victor felt genuine regret. The employee he had tried to intimidate had built something stronger than money could buy. A life with purpose. A company built on respect. And a daughter who adored her father. Years later, when Sophie graduated high school as valedictorian, Marcus sat proudly in the audience. As she delivered her speech, she thanked the person who had taught her courage. Not through words, but through actions. She spoke about a father who chose integrity over fear. A father who walked away from security to protect what mattered most. A father who showed her that true strength isn't holding onto something that hurts you. It's having the courage to let go. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that their worth is not determined by a paycheck or someone else's opinion. Special request, comment below with the words, "Courage changes everything," if you believe family, dignity, and kindness are worth fighting for. As the applause filled the auditorium, Marcus felt tears form in his eyes. The journey had never been easy. There had been sleepless nights, moments of doubt, and countless obstacles. But standing there, watching Sophie smile from the stage, he understood something profound. The greatest rewards in life often arrive disguised as impossible choices. The billionaire had dared him to quit because he believed fear would keep him trapped. Instead, that challenge became the very thing that set him free. And sometimes, the door that closes behind us is actually the one that finally leads us home.